I bring you another knitting video as part of the series. Now we're creeping up into the point where a lot of people don't want to knit anymore because it's going to get hot. I get it. I personally myself knit even in the summertime. I just sit in front of the air conditioner because I'm one of those, if I'm sitting, I'm knitting. Hello and welcome to Killer Kitsch Lizzie, my weird little world where I like to knit and sew and do other crafty things. Well, I bring you another knitting video as part of the series. Now we're creeping up into the point where a lot of people don't want to knit anymore because it's going to get hot. I get it. I personally myself knit even in the summertime. I just sit in front of the air conditioner because I'm one of those, if I'm sitting, I'm knitting people. It also stops me from picking at my nails or trying to bite my nails because I used to have a really bad habit of doing that, and knitting stops me. Now, in this video, I thought I would talk about types of books to get if you're starting out as a knitter. I know there are lots and lots of tutorials on YouTube talking about stitches and techniques and materials. I mean, I just did one myself, the knitting basics video, but I'm a person who I've gotten to the habit of also collecting knitting books as reference, and this is a habit I got into from way back when I went to school to study graphic design and advertising, and one of our teachers said it might seem like overkill, but it's always good to have magazines and books around as reference for design. And for me, I like having knitting books and sewing books and design books and art books around, because if I get an idea in my head, I might need to look at a thing to help me kind of solidify what it is I'm trying to figure out. And I also design my own knitting patterns. I recently have been designing a lot of knitting things specifically for my husband. He's a very tall person with long limbs, and standard knitting patterns, well, standard vintage knitting patterns don't work for him, and even modern knitting patterns don't work for him, so I end up designing cardigans and sweaters and vests for him, as well as I'll do like crazy graphics, which are usually video game related. If you want, I can do a video in the future showing the things I've created for him specifically, so let me know, and I'm more than happy to do a video just about that. But what today's video is, I'm going to talk about types of knitting books to have available for yourself that will help you. I know, you could quickly look stuff up on the internet, but I feel sometimes having an actual book to look at while you're trying to figure something out sometimes is more helpful. That might just be me, but I do know there are other people out there that prefer books. So now, without further ado, let me talk about some of the ones that I have. Now, again, I've mentioned this multiple times. I've been knitting forever. It doesn't matter to me. I still do sometimes refer to these books. I will sometimes even make some of the, if I need like a palette cleanser, I will make one of these projects. They are very quick to do. So books I've had, oh, and the other thing is, a lot of these books are out of print. If I can source a place that's selling them, like a reseller, I will link below. Yeah, unfortunately a lot of these are out of print. These particular should still be in print because they're extremely helpful. The author of these books is Stroller. I believe she was the creator of the Stitch and Bitch movement as well, or one of the people that started that movement a long time ago. Was that the 90s? Late 90s, early 2000s maybe? Now, the ones I have is, I mean, the books are called Stitch and Bitch. But there was an actual movement. Yeah, if I can find an article or something, I will link it below. But there was a movement where, you know, it was women coming together. Well, women and men. It wasn't just women coming together, and it was sort of a type of therapy, actually. You know, you get together in these groups. Toronto had one for a long time. And, yeah, you would just meet up with, like-minded people and knit and either have a drink or coffee or whatever. So, I don't remember which one was first. Shoot, I should have looked this up. I believe this one was first, which is the Stitch and Bitch, the Knitter's Handbook. And then, these are both illustrated guides to the project you're working on as well. And this is Stitch and Bitch Nation. Yeah, yes, because it says 50 hip, even funkier patterns, so this was definitely the next one. There is also a crocheting one. I also have that one, but I'm talking about knitting today, so. And I'm not going to do actual flip through of these books. However, if there is a specific book that I'm showing you that you want me to do a flip through, I'm more than happy. So what you'll find in these pattern books are instructions on gauge, measuring yourself, basic stitches, how to, you know, things like adding waist shaping to a garment, different types of sleeves, like sizing. She covers a whole bunch of stuff in here. And she has charts in here if you want to do, like, she has a flower on the front of the sweater. There is some lace work in here. You know, there's a how to make a yoga bag, how to make wristbands, how to make crazy monster slippers. So there's a lot of really fun projects in here. There's even like a baby sweater, baby tattoo sweater. Or sorry, baby's first tattoo sweater. There's accessories in here. There's dolls, how to make dolls in here. There's a whole bunch of really fun things in here. And then the other one, the second one, or sorry, that was the second one, so sure, I apologize. This is the first one. I've yet to make this, but as soon as, this is why I bought this book, was there's a sweater with a skull and crossbones on it. And again, at the front of the book, she has a whole bunch of technique information, how to do a basic scarf. Just trying to find, it's a lot more technique in here, how to knit a bag. Oh, the alien scarf, I have made that before. I made it as a gift for somebody. The technique to make the alien is really cool. Cute, I guess like cat ear hat. There's also garments in here too. How to make your own knitting bag, like knitting needle thing. Storage. Hats. There's a whole bunch of really cool things in here. Cell phone case. Sweater. Men's sweater. So these are a lot of fun. Especially if you're a beginner. These are tons of fun. And you not only learn how to knit, you get to make these crazy patterns from like the late 90s. Well, let me see if I can see a date in here. This one was 2004, Stitch and Bitch Nation. And this one is 2003. So yeah, the early 2000s. So the other thing I always collect, every time I see them at a thrift shop, because this is where I actually have gotten all of these books, with the exception of, I think there was one book, maybe I don't have it here, that was a gift, but I collect, and these are only a few of them, I don't even have all of them out right now, but knit stitches and knitting techniques. Again, these are out of print, but I will, let me just put this one down for a moment. I will, if I can find sources for these books at resellers, I will link them. This one was probably my most used, and then This one is my second most used book when I was trying to, come up with like cool stitches to put in projects. This one's called Stitches, Patterns, and Projects for Knitting by Wanda Bonando. And this one is the new Knitting Dictionary by Rhoda Osher Goldberg. This one has patterns in it. I think this one is just knitting. Yeah, this is just knitting stitches. And just put that down. And this one has some like basic mitten, or they're at the back thing. Yeah, there's like a coat, a couple of coats actually. Quite a few coats. Sweaters, vests, skirts. I've made quite a few of these, not all of them, but I've made quite a few of these. Oh, I don't usually do baby knitting stuff, but when it's for a good friend, I made this baby vest for a friend at one point, their little one. Yeah, so there's a bunch of cute hats and mitts, gloves, some lace work in there. And then this one is the Pattern Library Knitting. It does not have a specific designer's name on here, but again, it's a bunch of stitches that were not in my other books. That's the other thing, when I look at these, I look to see, like, is this something that has new stitches in it? There's actually quite a bit of lace and cable work stitches in this one. So, yeah, if you're at a thrift store or a used bookstore and you come across a section that has knitting and sewing books, grab these kinds of books. They will be super, super helpful for you. It is worth it. And then, sorry, just looking at my battery. And the other thing I collect, again, I don't have all of them out right now, because I have a lot. I will collect knitting books from, this is from I don't know if it's exactly 1940, but this is from the early 40s. I am trying to find the rest of the series. These come in gray or red cover. The gray ones are harder to find. These are from a company in the UK. So any of the ones I've come across have been shipped from the UK. But if you find knitting books from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, even the 80s or 90s, grab them, because they have cool projects in them, but they'll always have techniques at the front or the back, depending on the book. Grab them. You will, I know you're going to fill your bookshelves, but you will be very happy that you have these kinds of things on hand. Because I gotta tell you, yeah, so this one at the back has redos and repairs, so it explains how to renovate garments or combine different materials and things like that. So buy books. Alright, well, my battery is about to die, so I'm gonna wrap this video up. If you liked this video, please subscribe, like it, and comment below. And as I said, I will link as much as I can. Alright. Have a great day. Have a great rest of the week. And until I see you next time, stay kitschy.